Hi everyone, and welcome to Västra Hamnen Corporate Finance. Today we will talk about Crunchfish, and with Crunchfish, normally I stand beside Joachim Samuelsson, but unfortunately due to traffic problems, he is not here in the studio with me, but he has managed to join us from his car. Very welcome, Joachim.
Hi, Martin. Yeah, no, I know. It is what it is. I've been standing here on the highway driving south to Malmö for an hour. It's a car accident here, half an hour north of Malmö.
Yeah. But, I mean, let's talk about Crunchfish and the Q3 report that you released just this morning and other events that's happened lately. And please also, I encourage all you viewers who's watching to send in questions in the question function below. And we will address them as we go along. But let's start. Joachim, you've traveled extensively lately, presenting at various events, your new approach. How has it been received, do you think?
So it's been a great time. We've been very active. Major events were the one in Bahamas, the annual CBDC conference. I think that was a great success. We were just contacted actually yesterday by Bank of Bahamas, who wants to start discussing about integrating with their sand dollar, which I think is a good thing. The sand dollar is the first CBDC project in the world, really. And they want offline because they're an island state with many islands, but don't have it yet. So that it started there, but then it was Cybos. First time we were there, a huge event in Europe, and then it was GFF as well, early October. I think these were the three main events that we were present at. Very active and a lot of conversations. I'm glad we did it. We needed to get out with. We have a good message, and we needed to spread it. So and we have during Q3.
So why do you think? I mean, it's the new approach that have changed your perception of your solution, or is it something else?
Well, it is the story that. We talked about it in our Q1 report and the Q2 report as well, that we are going to market in a new way, that we are approaching payment networks. We realize that we need to get integrated in the infrastructure of that payment network. And when we have achieved that, then we could sell to all the payment services that is using that network. That's the strategy. That's our turnaround that we announced in Q1, and that's the path we are on. And we needed to get out that story. It's the same solution. It's just that we have changed the way we go to market, and that's it's important to get to much more networks, and we have. Before we started here, we were very focused on India and how we can work in India. And we were worried that because it's taken a long time in India, how can we get to other markets as well, given the long time it's taken in India? But now I think there is at least now 20 potential payment networks that we are in dialogue with our solution. So that has broadened substantially from where we were before.
And as you say, August and September were very busy, and the press releases from the company were plentiful. And it's been a bit more quiet in October. So what have you been up to lately?
Well, the reason why it's such a difference is that in September, August, September, there were a lot of exhibitions, and there is a lot of exhibitions around those exhibitions. We are doing a lot of press releases, but October we did announce things that we were at GFF. Now it's actually moving here as well. So now I need I need to put
Okay.
down my phone and then take off see if I can take off the video.
Yeah.
Because
So yeah.
I'll do that and I'll respond to your question. Hang on.
Yeah.
So after these two major events, Cybos and GFF, there is so much to follow up on. And I think this is not sort of something we can press release, that we are following up on all those discussions. So I would say that there's been a lot of hard work. The other major thing we are working on is what we announced sort of mid-September, that we are integrating with what we said, a world-leading payment network, and that there is it's sort of meetings every second day in that respect. So we're busy with that all the time.
So things are moving on, not only traffic at the moment.
Things are moving on. It's just that it's nothing worthy of, you know, things are moving on. Just because it's we're not press releasing doesn't mean that things stop working, really. It's just a lot of, I would say there's a lot of activity.
Yeah, I see. And if we turn to the report, the headline of the report, in the report is about the network integration in India. Does this mean that your solution has been fully integrated in NPCI's payment infrastructure?
We are working on it. We announced this in mid-September. That we have this project, and we're working with that integration. This is where we have meetings sort of every second day. Was a meeting yesterday, it's a meeting today, and so we are in this project. That it's not a done integration yet. We are working on that project.
Yeah. Is it complicated, or is it just a normal business of things?
I wouldn't say it's complicated. It's big. The project involves obviously us, who are coming with a solution that they would like to integrate. It involves NPCI, who are they are integrating in their payment network our receiving component, as they call it. This is a terminal that we have said is the ability to receive payments, and that needs integration both in the common library in the front end, and there is a back-end integration as well. And then we have agreed with NPCI to involve two banks in this project as well. One is IDFC, and another one is Axis Bank. Axis is one of the 4 largest banks of India. They are part of it. And in the background there is RBI, because this is for the digital rupee. So RBI is involved in a way because it's their product. It's even if NPCI implements the solution, RBI needs to be sort of also approving things that is happening. But they are behind it. They have approved it, and they like what we do. So this is going on right now, and it's a big project, but plodding along as it should be. Yeah.
So is this the same project that RBI is are pushing for banks to handle offline payments, or is it a side project or a different project? Could you just describe for us how it's all connected?
Well, this is a project that RBI we've for long have a good dialogue with RBI, and they have said that in order to implement this, you need to talk to NPCI, because NPCI are the ones that are building the infrastructure for the digital rupee. Now we have, and that's what we announced, that we have got this project with NPCI. So this is the next generation infrastructure for the digital rupee that we are busy working with MPCI to implement. What can I say? There were things shown at the GFS that we were in October, but that was already planned for before we came with this project. So that was previous generation, I would say, but we are working on what will now come next as the infrastructure for the digital rupee.
Okay, so could you tell us anything about the time plan for the project that you're in with
them? We are. I would say we will have this infrastructure in place with MPCI in Q1. This is what the project plan. The first phase of the project was to write, in a way, the project plan, and that is done and that's been approved. And now we are in the setting the specs for it. Then it will go into development, and then there will be a few weeks of testing. That will be quite a short phase, and that will be done with IDFC and Axis for use cases, both for P2P, that you pay from a person to another person, but also for P2M, that you pay from a person to a merchant.
Okay.
So Q1 is where this project will be sort of ready for prime time to roll out to where other banks can sort of also join. Yeah.
And you obviously have discussions with several banks, and I just wonder if they don't choose your solution, is there any alternative, or have they developed their own solution, or is there any competition?
Are you thinking of the banks now?
Yeah, the banks. Next step.
I think that the solution is in two parts. This is, again, according to our new strategy, that there is one part which goes into the network that becomes like a standard in the payment network. So that will only be, there won't be different standards. The payment network, which is owned by, for the digital rupee, is owned by RBI and is developed by MPCI. There will be one standard. We are part of setting that standard with MPCI. That will be for everybody. Then the strategy is that the banks are then free to choose a secure wallet for their users, so they can make payments in that payment network in that standard that the payment network has provided. There, the banks are free to choose alternative sort of solutions. But I think we have a good chance, given that we are part of actually setting the standard of what the network will do. But there is this is where there will be competition, that banks can choose other solutions that conform with this strategy or this standard that we're setting in the network.
Yeah, that is actually what I wondered. In the next step, there will be some sort of competition between your solution and that's possible. We hope our patents will play a role as well. We are getting some key patents. There are at the final stage of being approved in India, and they could play a positive role for us as well. But the idea is to create sort of one standard in the payment network, and then have the ability for the banks and payment services to choose what secure wallet they want to have for their users, so they can make offline payments. Yeah. And speaking of different infrastructures, we have a question regarding the cooperation with CMA Small Systems for some specific markets. like Pakistan, or is it more general, this collaboration?
This is broader. They have about they are already in about 10 payment networks around the world, and they in many of those countries they go in on a national level, essentially delivering the system that the country is using for real-time payment systems, like MPCI is sort of doing. They're providing the UPI system in India. CMA is delivering that infrastructure for other countries, and this is why this partnership is good for us, because we are becoming a partner of someone that play the role of MPCI at least as a technology provider to a local sort of equivalent of MPCI. I wouldn't say they are MPCI, but they deliver the payment platform that those countries are using to do their payment systems. And in those payment systems, there are requirements for offline payments, and this is where we come in.
Okay, I see. So AltPaynet is also a similar player like CMA.
They are less of a player on a national level, but they have major banking relationships in the Philippines, and so in the Philippines we are using them working with them as a way to get interest from the national payment switches, that they can set set a precedence. But there we are further away from the national payment level than we are with the relationship with CMA, because the CMA delivers directly the national payment switches of several countries.
I see. So let's go back to India for a moment and just talk about the project that's rolling. And you say Q1 is your projected endpoint. Could we expect some revenue from users in this project in Q1, or what's your forecast?
It depends on how we structure, in a way, what we will be able to engage the banks with. We can do deals with the banks for earlier revenue, but I would say the majority of the market, there are 21 banks currently in for the digital rupee, and RBI has made it mandatory for those banks to have an offline solution. So they need to move, and we can certainly talk to them. Whether we will get revenue from all these other banks before we get this project approved, I think that will probably be difficult. The one that we are closest to would be Axis Bank, who has already agreed to be part of it. But there is also all the banks. They are working with a technology partner who helps the bank to implement their payment system. And Axis has one payment technology partner. They're called Olive. They are now becoming a partner of us as well. And IDFC Bank, they have another one. Their name is Samatra. And Samatra has 7 other banks. Olive have 4 other banks. So here is an opportunity to work with those technology partners who are working with the banks to get because they are, at the end of the day, they will help the bank with this integration on the banking side of this solution. So here we have a chance to, in this project, work with two of those technology providers that in turn serve more than half of the banks that eventually will have this solution. So this creates an opportunity for us as well. So they are. It's still a bit early days, but we are well aware that we want to have revenue, and we are looking at ways of accelerating on how to get to those to get to revenue as early as we can.
Yeah. So working with those technology partners could be a way to reach broader and faster.
Yes, we don't have to go to 21 banks one by one. I think we can work with a technology partner and then via them reach. Olive have four banks, for instance. Savatra, as I said, have 7. That's 11 out of the 21. And then there are we met at GFF some of the other technology providers as well for the other banks as well. So we are. We see that as a way to more quickly actually get our solution into those banks via those technology partners.
So there are also some sort of revenue sharing, I would imagine, with those technology partners.
It could be. We haven't defined those yet. It's still. As I said, at GFF in October, we met with Olive and Savatra and another player as well, and we haven't discussed any sort of model yet. They make money out of doing the integration with the banks. They have a lot of consultancy services for the banks, and they are selling their own platform, and we're gonna strengthen that platform now. So it can include also offline payments that they can deliver to the bank.
Okay, thank you. We've received a question from a viewer regarding hackathon and why it is prolonged. Didn't Crunchfish already won the offline module?
Well, the RBI. They do hackathons every year, and the hackathon they do this year is a hackathon for actually the entire system. They want to get a grasp of the entire system. We are currently working with the MPCI on the network side. We're working on that standard that will be set on the network side. But there will be, as we said earlier, also on the banking side. So they are going now in this hackathon and asking the market really, give us a solution, and they've said that it should be secure, it should be scalable, which I take it will probably, it's hard to do that scalability unless it's software. So I think they are endorsing our software approach. And they want it to be interoperable, which means that it needs to be interoperable in the first place with UPI as well in the Indian market. And that means that they will need to go away from sending a token from in offline mode, because then it will never be interoperable. They will go for the approach that we have patented, and it's our approach where you do an IOU. You have a payment instruction which you send from me to, say, you, Martin, in offline mode, and then that later settles. That is that mode that India is now going for. Previously, they actually were sending tokens in offline mode, but they are now moving towards the design that we have. That has been our way of our approach all along. That rather do a payment instruction or an IOU in offline mode. So RBI is asking the market for, give us ideas for this entire solution. I think we are a good fit already because we are on the network side. But there is still, as we said, where your question before, Martin, will there be competition? So there will still be on the banking side secure wallets that is needed there as well. And I guess they are just scanning the market to see what will people come up with.
Okay.
But I think we are in a good position given our project, which is approved by RBI, that we're working with MPCI on the network side. But then there is still the issue of on the banking side, what will be the solutions there as well. So we will go in and present what we are working on, which includes what we're going to do on the banking side, but also what we do on the network side. That will be our proposition into the Harbinger hackathon.
Yeah, and the ongoing project is obviously proof of concept for the whole approach, I guess.
What was your? I didn't.
I mean the ongoing project with MPCI is something that you can showcase not only in India but elsewhere as well. We have a question regarding the SEPA system, SEPA payment, and there were earlier talks about with Microsoft. Any outcome on this or updates?
We don't have with Microsoft. I can't recall that we have talked about Microsoft when it comes to we're not doing anything with Microsoft within sort of payment.
No.
SEPA is sort of the European sort of system, and we have dialogues in Europe as which we have released that we were one of the pioneers that showed our way of doing offline payments with a reserve pay and settlement approach. We have showed that for ECB in the Digital Euro Sandbox, and we are in, that is what we think is the better approach in offline payments. I think that's what's happening right now in India, where they are going away from an approach where they are not having tokens to be sent in offline mode, which essentially is a digital banknote. They're going for digital IOUs instead, which is the approach that we've been arguing for all along. I think Europe is, they have announced in Q3 here that the winner was D&D, and this was on a spec that they developed back in 2023, 2024. Now, they will, there is a lot of momentum around doing this. I think it will be hard to get scalability and interoperability with this approach in Europe, but we have this IOU approach, which now India is going for, which I hope to position as well for Europe as an alternative to what they're currently doing with their digital banknotes.
Yeah. So why do you think Crunchfish didn't win? Why did it choose this other solution, do you think?
Which one? In
Europe? In Europe, yes, sorry.
Because it was specified as a digital banknote approach. They decided on digital banknotes, which means that you do offline payments where you have, just like you hand over a banknote, you have finality. You are done. There is no settlement whatsoever. The approach that we have always, the approach we are going for, which I think is where the market actually is going towards. I think India is a great example of that, because they've tried doing the approach with digital banknotes, but they're giving it up, and they're going now for the approach that we've been saying, and this is which has what's called a deferred settlement, that there is a settlement step. You reserve money, you move basically a payment instruction on IOU, and then you settle. That has always been our approach. But the specification that was done by ECB was more or less saying we want offline finality. So they went for that architecture from the start, and that's never been our approach. We think for scalability reasons, for interoperable reason, it's not a good approach.
I see. But let's stay for a moment in Europe. In your report, you mentioned something, an organization called P19. What is that?
Well, we were invited by Bank of Austria in relation to the digital euro into a meeting in Austria at their central bank, the Österreichische Nationalbank. We were, and this was a meeting that was organized by the Central Bank of Austria, but also an organization called P19. I don't know what 19 really stands for, but they call themselves the P19 Payment Circle. And it is, I think it is an Austrian organization that has been put together for driving innovation when it comes to payments right now. And they were emphasizing what the pioneers have done for the digital euro. And as you know, we are one of the pioneers. So we were invited to discuss what's next now with the digital euro. And I talked about that yes, there is a decision on offline payments for doing digital banknotes, but it will be difficult then to do scalability and to do interoperability. Isn't that what you're interested in? And I think the conversation was, yes, these are important. So yeah, but the solution you're building right now is not delivering that. However, you could do it with these conditional payments that we as a pioneer have been showing. And we had that dialogue with them, with the P19 organization and the Österreichische Nationalbank around this.
Okay. So physically, Joachim, where are you now? Are you able to switch on video, or how is it going on the?
Soon. I'm moving now, but I need to. I'm still on the highway, so I need to drive off of the highway in order to stop. But I think I can do that. I'm coming to an exit soon.
Okay, just wondering. I think the viewers are tired of watching me all the time. But let's move on to some of the financial issues in the report, or at least news during in Q3. You raised 40 million SEK in a directed share issue with a credit facility also of 10 with warrant exercise in March. That could add another 12 to 16 million. How long will this funding take you?
It will take us through 2026, as we have communicated. In a worst case scenario that we're not getting any revenue, but the money itself is sufficient for to the end of 2026.
Yeah. In the report also, we were a bit surprised by the higher external costs. It was a bit higher than our estimate, at least. Could you explain what that was caused by?
Yeah, well, one of the things is all the exhibitions, traveling costs, and the exhibition itself. It probably accounts for 300,000 on that. But the main part, 700, is actually that we had during that quarter we had higher patenting costs, and that follows a little bit that follows the schedule around patents, really, that some patents were due for that we had to extend them for going national, and that usually has sort of quite a high cost when we are going from a international PCT phase into a national phase. That's usually say 300,000, given how many countries we choose to nationalize our patent in.
Welcome back, by the way. Nice to see you again. And on the other hand, the personnel costs were lower than our forecast. Are you comfortable with the level of this segment in Q3 and going forward?
Yeah, we're not hiring right now. I think the level that you saw, it is somewhat also affected by vacation period. That is, a lot of people take vacation in July, August, so that's certainly part of it as well. But then we were having lower costs because now all the people from the gesture side has left the business, so now the full effect of that is seen. And yeah, I think we're not hiring, so the level that you see is the level that I think we are budgeting for the coming period here in terms of personnel.
Yeah. I'm running out of questions, and let's see if there's any other out there from the viewers. We've talked about many of the topics. We have a question regarding the business model. Have you validated that towards shareholders during the quarter? Someone asks.
Validated the business. I don't understand the question. We have explained it with have explained it with shareholders. We had a lunch talk, and I had a presentation which was an investor presentation up at the Stora Aktiedagen, where we talked about the business model that was all in September. So I don't know if we discussed the business model. Essentially, our business model is based on a subscription-based model that it's per user per annum. That's what we have with IDFC. But we are also in discussing of adding to that a component where we will make money out of the interest on the amount of money that people have reserved. The user is not getting interest, but the money is still with the banking system. And that creates an opportunity to get part of that interest as part of our the money we make out of our solution.
Oh, okay. Thank you. No further questions have arisen, and I think it's time to wrap up things.
Yeah.
As a final question, if I ask you to summarize the quarter, what are the three most important takeaways, would you say?
I think, yeah, the main thing that has happened is that we are what we've always worked for, get our product into the infrastructure of the leading network in the world. In India is sort of a great that's a great achievement of this quarter. We are starting with the digital rupee, and they now have the same sort of architecture for the digital rupee that they go for this reserve, pay and settle, which they also can use for UPI. So this really opens up the opportunity to make money out of our system in India. That is great for us. But given that we are getting ourselves into this network of India, of NPCI of India, that is happening. That is opening doors all over the place. And the other takeaway is that we are now in dialogues. I think I said it earlier. I think there is about 20 payment networks right now in the world, where I think half of them we have come further in our discussions, and we will start sort of taking steps towards now even integration. I hope to announce more of those steps soon, and that means that we are getting an even wider footprint around the world with our technology, and that means that as a subsequent step we will be able to address all those payment services in those networks as well. So the achievement that we're getting in India is sort of really quite a remarkable achievement of us, that we're getting into the in such a leading place as India with our technology. It's very strong, and now that opens up for revenues locally in India, and then later on into other networks, and then revenues from those as well. So I think we turned the corner. It's been really exciting that the new strategy that we announced here in May, that it has already then got us to where we are right now, which is much further along that sort of track that we announced in the Q1 report. So I'm happy with that. And then now it's just about executing and getting our product spread. The other last thing I would say is that feeling that we're having, not just with India, but there was a note from Bank of England as well that clearly says that they will not go for a digital banknote in terms of a digital pound. They won't have that in offline mode, but they will go for an approach with deferred settlement. Again, another testimony of that more and more people are understanding that the approach that we've been saying all along, where we have all our patents, is the approach that is winning grounds in the market. I think Europe is the exception, now going full speed ahead with a solution that is actually implementing digital banknotes for Europe, whereas I think many important other places are going for an approach which is based on deferred settlement, which has been our recommendation for offline payments all along.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, Joachim. It seems as if even if you don't press release everything, you're busy coming quarters.
Yeah, we're very busy.
Well.
We're very busy. I would say we are more busy than ever right now. And certainly our tech team are working really long hours right now to not only support what we're doing here in India, but presenting with new payment networks around the world with our solution. So it is very busy times at the moment. It is.
So thank you very much, Joachim, for joining, and drive safely to the office. Thanks everyone who's watching, and please don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel so you don't miss our next update. Thank you all.
Thank you, Martin.
See you later.
Thank you, Martin. Thanks.